Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is July the 3rd. I'm your host, Nadine Blaney. Well, U.S. markets ended mixed ahead of the Independence Day holiday. The local market is set to gain, with SPY futures pointing to a 52-point or 0.6% lift at the open. The Dow Jones continued its run, rising 1.1% to post its fourth straight weekly gain. The S&P 500, though, slipped, and the Nasdaq fell as well. Investors continued to take profits in technology and semiconductor stocks after this year's strong rally. Technology was the weakest sector, with chip makers extending their recent pullback. But Apple's winning streak continued on reports of a new iPhone. Google, though, lost its fight against a record €4.1 billion antitrust fine. Tesla also fell despite reporting stronger than expected second quarter vehicle deliveries, investors locking in gains following a strong run-up ahead of the results. Rival Rivian, meanwhile, rose after lifting its 2026 delivery forecast. Blue Owl Capital shares rose as well, as easing redemptions hinted at a private credit turning point, and gold miners climbed on a higher price for the precious metal. On the macro front, U.S. non-farm payrolls rose by just 57,000 in June, well below expectations of 110,000. The unemployment rate, though, held steady at 4.2%. The weaker labor market data eased concerns that the Fed Reserve will need to lift interest rates again in the near term, with markets trimming expectations of a September rate hike. Investors also welcome signs of progress in U.S.-Iran peace talks, helping to further ease geopolitical concerns. The U.S. 10-year yield is at 4.48%, and the dollar index fell by about 0.5%. That is the most in 2 months. On the commodities front, oil prices made small gains on short covering ahead of the long weekend. Brent futures settled at $71.80 a barrel, up 0.3%. Gold jumped more than 2% after that weak jobs report. And an Australian government report says efforts by China's state-backed iron ore buyer will cut costs for Chinese steel mills, and its desire to do so may push down iron ore prices in the medium term. Today, it's a pretty quiet one here on the macro front. Equities as well. U.S. markets are closed for Independence Day. South Korea's market will be closely watched through the Asian session after sharp falls on the sell-off yesterday. And currency markets are on alert for currency intervention from the BOJ. That does it for the week ahead. I'm Nadine Blaney. We'll see you tomorrow.